Hey everyone. Okay, I'm going to talk about Revulsion's next patch and what's included and what won't be included just temporarily. So the first thing I want to mention is about the things that won't be included. You're probably wondering like what? He's going to take stuff out? Yes, temporarily only for until the end of next month. So after this month, so at the end of this month, the undertunnels won't be accessible. But that's temporary. And the reason why is because I'm shuffling things around a little bit. Now, let's talk about what's being added. Uh, the content that's being added right now. See, these unique tiles are levels that are per mission on a per mission basis. So I have what you're looking at right now. This is Warpath. You might remember this area, and it's been retooled and reworked so that it fits the new style of flow for the game. And I'm actually gonna play through this level um, in a little bit after I'm done mentioning all this different stuff. It's pretty much every one of the sections of the larger level, the dark base, but broken up into smaller parts that are that flow around each of the power node battles. So like Unique 2, you might recognize Unique 2 as being the part in the game where it's like a soldier's overlook, and then like you end it off with this whole battle over here and all that. But then it just ends up going right into the exit, so that you can collect your mission rewards and your rewards for completing the level and all that. So the differences between the uniques, the tiles, and the starts. So you'll notice that I have uniques. Uniques have to have a power node fight at the end. Tiles have you search for at least four different power crystals, right? And these power crystals, once all of them are collected, that unlocks the door, and then that unlocks the exit. So basically, you can exit out of the level and you can go to the next level. Right, so it's basically find key open door gameplay with a twist. It's a different twist on the whole concept of find key open door gameplay. Instead of a red or a blue key, you have to find four of these objects, and they unlock stuff as you go through. That doesn't necessarily include just the fact that there are also like switches that you can find in the maps that uh, also open and unlock doors. So like this door gets unlocked when you flip uh, this switch. Right now, there is currently I plan to have four of these tiles by the end of the month, and I plan to have four total starting areas. So I talked about the difference between the uniques and the tile. The difference between a starting area. Starting areas are designed to be to have a flow where you're supposed to start off in the beginning of the mission, right? In the beginning of the mission, kind of it's this is probably more on my side because with you guys you'd probably just be like you just play through it, and you'd have kind of like a sort of an area where you can kind of come in, and then you can come into the levels, and then you can you're not right in the middle of the action, you're not coming from some other direction, you're starting off at a fast travel node, right? These I will have you searching for power crystals, but it'll only be like two power crystals instead of four. So these will be slightly easier levels. These will be levels where um, it just sort of gets your feet wet before you're actually starting to get into the real serious combat. So that's it. I'm planning on having four of these, and four of these. Now I'm just finishing up the details on the fourth one of these. The unique levels tend to be more difficult to make because they tend to have more scripting, a little bit more situational, like combat and the power node battle and everything like that. And the uh, the other two tiles, that there's two more tiles that I have here that I want to, hold on a second, I'm getting my train of thought. So two of the new tiles that I want to do will be taken from existing areas in the dark base, right? So you might recognize this area. This area right here is actually going to be a tile, and you'll have to find 4 power crystals in it. And you might recognize this area here. This area here is going to be a tile as well, and you'll be searching for 4 power crystals in this, and then it'll also have like additional stuff that wasn't in it before because it needs to be increased in size just a little bit so there's a little bit more flow, and you can enter it from 4 different directions. So for example, there's probably going to be like an area over here, and then like you can come into the doorway over here, stuff like that. Um, and of course, this whole section will just be removed out, and there'll be something completely new here, etc. So that's 2 of the tiles that I already have a big chunk of work already done with them. The third tile is going to be a completely new one. So there's 2 completely new levels for the tiles, and there's 4 completely new levels for the starts, the new intros. And it's not even really necessary that I have 4 different starts, because it's theoretically possible I could just start every mission off with 1 start, but I want to have 4 different starts anyway. Uh, Mainly because I'm going to be doing a special system in place to make sure that you don't see the same level twice in a row, which is something that I'll probably go into. That could probably just get its own video, honestly. That kind of a complex thing, and like why I'd be doing it and how I'd be doing it. Pretty straightforward, actually. It's not really that crazy, but um, so each of the uniques are based on the mission itself. So how I'm going to exclude the undertunnels in the next patch, which previously was just the 2nd level, right? And then you had the hell section right here, the cavernous depths. I'm going to have to take 1 step back before I can take 2 steps forward. But these 2 steps forward are going to happen a lot more quickly. And it bugs me a little bit that undertunnels won't be in the next patch, because there's probably people who are going to be currently working on completing the undertunnels in its old version, as we speak. I guess you could probably just not update to the latest version, but I don't recommend that because I actually want to get people's feedback on the latest version of the game. And considering that the amount of content that's being added, or just pure gameplay, just raw situational combat, all kinds of crazy stuff that's being added to the first episode, it's going to be a lot higher quality in general than what was in the Undertunnels anyway. And then I'm going to be reworking the Undertunnels exactly the same way. So, all right, so how am I going to be excluding the Undertunnels? Well, I want to do a 5th unique tile, which will be the Abomination boss battle. And he's not really so much technically a staged boss fight. I'll show you. So there's this new enemy that I've been planning to add for quite some time. This guy here, right? So he's going to appear as the boss for the first episode, but he's really just going to be a regular enemy later on. And he's kind of a big lumbering, slow-moving dude who can like just basically destroy you with his machine gun fire, and I I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly if these are rocket launchers or if they're going to be flamethrowers, but they're probably just going to be like just you see this guy and he looks at you and it's just gonna be like ta 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 ta. There's gonna be like shit flying all over the place. It's gonna be kind of like playing a shmup. You don't want to be in front of this guy. Um, when you when you complete a boss level by defeating the boss, he will drop a heart, which is already in the game. It's a special kind of like heart container kind of item. It's kind of funny that I guess it would be world pickups. Yeah, level cap. This raises the level cap by 10 points, and then we'll also unlock the next mission. It gives you a which would be the undertunnels. So until this boss fight is available, uh, the level cap will remain at 10 for pretty much next month. However, next the new setup is going to still support New Game Plus, and it's also going to support all of the difficulties. So you'll be able to actually play every mission in all difficulties, all the way up to Revulsion difficulty, and there'll be unique bonuses for completing each of those and stuff like that. Like, well, not necessarily always unique bonuses, but nice bonuses for completing each of them all the way up. And then I'm going to have an Iron Man challenge, which is going to be just one really hard mission, which just strings together all of the uniques in one go, which is basically the equivalent of playing the Dark Base, so to speak. So it'll be like no randomization. You're just gonna play through all of the tiles as though you were playing the Dark Base, but on like super hard mode. Um, with so with a higher level. So one of the things that's interesting about this is that the harder difficulties are essentially endgame content, and they will kind of flow like endgame content. In other words, you once you are at level 10, that's when you begin seeing the hard difficulty levels pop up, and the hard difficulty levels might actually require you to upgrade your gear and kind of solidify your stats and everything like that, and you'll actually have a chance for a while to actually upgrade your character and get things in place. Um, after for this patch, your current character, you're probably going to want to start over again from your character. But after this patch, I don't think it'll be necessary anymore because now I've established uh, the way the rest of the game is going to flow. So it's essentially going to be like playing an MMO where like you go for a little bit, you hit the level cap, you do your end game, you do your unusually hard missions and everything like that, and you do all the tougher dungeons and stuff. And then I raise a new like release a new boss fight, and then it raises the level cap, and then you get a whole bunch of new levels, you get a whole bunch of new areas, you get a whole bunch of new stuff, and then you hit the level cap, and then you can do the end game again. And it's kind of like it'll kind of go in that paradigm, and that's it. That's really it. The only thing that bugs me is that not only am I taking content out, but a lot of the content is going to be in gray box form, which is exactly what this level looks like. But all right. I think I pretty much described everything that's going to be going on. The gray box stuff will get arted out. I want to make sure that I have like a decent amount of art in the first episode, at least make sure that everything like I do a pass on this to make sure that it has art on it. Everything's going to be higher quality too because I've gotten a lot better at doing the pixel art and stuff. I've gotten a lot better at working at the on the voxels. So yeah, it's a step back in one way, but it's a big jump I think forward in every other way, which well, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a buttload of work, that's for sure. So I'm going to be working a lot. So with that said, I've been streaming on D Live regularly now, and I think I'm probably going to be doing that fairly often. I'll include a link, but if you're watching my Steemit, my Steemit account, if you're watching my Revulsion related posts, which is all coming down to the Revulsion tag on Steemit, you'll probably be able to catch my D live streams because I'm often just going to be leaving them running in the background and stuff like that. Maybe it'll be fairly silent or something like that. But if people start asking questions or if there's anything going on like that, I'll try to make sure that I let you guys know that I'm going to be doing these streams ahead of time. But for the most part, a lot of it's just going to be like while I'm working on stuff. You'll see a live stream of me doing it. The live streams probably won't be saved forever, because DLive only gives me about 12 hours to download them and stuff like that. And I'm not really sure too much if it's, I don't know, I'll try to decide what I'm going to do with that. Maybe they'll just get like a 4-hour video on fucking YouTube or something. Maybe I'll like time lapse it so it's you can watch everything happen really quickly. I don't know. So with all that said, yeah, that's pretty much that. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the new patch. So far, it's been a lot cooler, and the new maps are really, really awesome. That's another thing too, worth mentioning. Like the total number of levels. Let's see. So I want to have 4 starts, 4 tiles. Right? I already have plans for 2 of them. Man, that's a lot of levels. That's actually a lot of levels. That's as many levels you might see for I don't know, like most games actually like that come out. Most indie first-person shooters will probably only have like 10 levels. So with that said, that's actually pretty interesting. So not only does it have as many levels as a lot of games, but it's got like tons of fucking RPG elements and 60 guns, and I think the first episode will actually technically probably only have just under 30 guns that you can actually access. So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the most recent content. So this is the reworking of the Warpath mission, which is right now going to be the hardest mission in the first episode. Oh yeah, I'm also rebranded. The Undertunnels is the second episode, and Hell's Gate, which you will be seeing content for Hell's Gate. Probably by the end of next month, you'll probably start seeing like at least videos of me working on the Undertunnels, on the Hell's Gate stuff. But my goal is to rework all of this in this fashion, and then repeat the same process for Undertunnels, and then do the same process again for Hell's Gate, and then Death's Spire, or Death's Tower, or whatever I'm going to call that, which is pretty much the end of the game at that point. So, let's see. I'm using a lot of the best in slot weapons in the game right now, just to make sure that they're not shitty and that they don't have bugs. So this is the Death Bow. And alright, auto pistols. I mean, it's subjective what's actually going to be the best weapons, really, but here's the heavy rifle. I mean, you might prefer a combat rifle over the heavy rifle, and it will probably be completely... Demon's Domain will be the actual mission of the first episode, which won't be available in the next patch, but will be worked on. Cluster bombs. Some of them got stuck in the ceiling. And of course the Warhammer. You know, gotta have Warhammer. And you know, this gun here. Alright, so let's see. Get started. Since the shield flying off in outer space. Oh, the guy keeps killing me. Alright, so with all that said, I got everything out. This should be a pretty good devlog showing all the progress and everything like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and stay tuned for more. There will be more. Alright, and watch for my D-Live streams. Okay, that was awkward. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna end this here, because, yeah, alright, stuff.